can all settle down and get ready. Can all bow down to Shree Mataji and take bandhan. Let's bring our attention on Sahasrar. Shree Mataji, please take away all our thoughts, all our ego, all our superego. Shree Mataji, let our attention be at Sahasrar. You can all say 3 Maha Mantras followed by Shri Ganesha Mantra. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Trigunatmika Kundalini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devyai Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalki Sakshat Shri Sahasrara Swamini Moksha Pradayani Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Ganesha Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. In this state, let's listen to Shree Mataji.
What do you mean shaking with vibration? Today, I just thought that there are quite a lot of people who have come for the first time. And I should tell them about the significance of puja. Remain shaking in vibration. Today, I just thought that there are quite a lot of people who have come for the first time. And I should tell them about the significance of puja. Because as the Western style of life is, that they are meant to be like this, to seek something outside, to go outside, find out new ways and methods to grow outside. Now, this is the knowledge of your roots, knowledge through which you receive your nourishment. It is not known to you before. This knowledge is not known to you before and was not deliberately told because you are supposed to grow outside. Now, when you have to go inside, then you have to understand the divine laws and divine methods, how it works. The puja has a significance. From ancient times, the saints described them. Because in India, the whole climate is such that you can live under a tree, live in a forest, no problem, can eat fruits, and very happily you could be in a forest. There's no need to have a bed or anything. It's so warm and nice. You can always enjoy the bliss of a forest. And thus, many people went into the forest and started thinking, looking at the whole world from that solitude. What's the problem with human beings? Why are we here? What should we do? What's the purpose of this human life? Why God has given us this beautiful human life? They started thinking. And that's how they went into meditative positions, meditative entry within themselves. And when they started meditating, they found out all about Kundalini, about chakras, and the deities that reside on them. Now, these deities have resided from eternal times. We can say in the abode of God. They have all resided there. And then they were reflected on this earth and they incarnated just to give us a better and better awareness. We could have avoided all this. It could have been very easy if we had listened to God at the time of Adam and Eve. At the time of Adam and Eve, it was told that you should not eat the fruit of knowledge. Now, that was not the fruit of the true knowledge, but the fruit of knowledge was the knowledge about the matter, the knowledge about things. So, as you know, the story is satanic forces worked. They lured both of them and they started developing themselves on the other side. That's how we made a mistake. That's why it is called as original sin. And that original sin has brought us to this brink now, and we have to go back. We have to go back within ourselves to find our roots. And that's why to improve on their mistakes and to improve on their ignorance. That's how the first ignorance was set. The darkness of ignorance was set because of that mistake. And then from darkness we had to come to human state. And when we have to come to human stage, we have to pass through all those different various stages of life where incarnations had to take place. So now, as you know very well, that we have incarnations placed within our centers which are not yet awakened. That means they are not in our attention. They are not to be felt in our central nervous system, or we cannot feel them on our fingertips, to be very, very simple. So they are there, but they are not acting according to our desire. We do not know them, and they do not listen to us. They do what is right for them or what they think is proper. You have no connection with them so far. So the first thing is to connect yourself with those different stages through which we have passed. So the first, as you know, is the Ganesha stage. It is innocence. Innocence, the formless of innocence was made into Sri Ganesha. Because some nucleus has to emit that innocence. In the whole world, there are 8 such creations of the Mother Earth, and luckily they are in Maharashtra. You'll find Maharashtrian people on the whole are innocent compared to us. They are rather innocent by nature. And the reason is from the Mother Earth only the innocence is emitted. So the first thing is that within us to establish innocence, we have to worship Sri Ganesh. So when you worship me as Sri Ganesh, the Sri Ganesha within you is awakened. You will see the result of that. So the people who are suffering, say, from the trouble of all these perversions, these modern diseases that have come, must establish their Sri Ganesh. If they cannot establish their Sri Ganesh, they cannot be cured. So their innocence has to be first established. If we cannot establish their innocence, we cannot cure them. First and foremost thing is to establish Sri Ganesh. And Sri Ganesh is made out of the Mother Earth element. So by praying to Sri Ganesha, we also establish it in a city, in a place like this place now is San Francisco, where I came here first. We had no puja and nothing. That's why the whole thing was just touch and go. I couldn't go deep into people. I couldn't go deep into the place, and so I didn't know how I'll be able to manage, because there is no education on this. People are not educated about it. But in India, immediately the first thing is puja. They will not come to my lecture. They will not come to anything. First is puja. If there's a puja, everybody is getting up 4 o'clock, having a bath, getting ready to come to puja, because they know the importance of it. That your essence is awakened by it. Essence is awakened. And to awaken the essence, you have to be there at a place where this is done, so that your essence is awakened. Now the trouble is with ego-oriented societies, very difficult to tell them about puja. It's find it difficult. That's why we do not allow everyone to come to puja, for one reason, because as soon as they see something happening, their ego stands up. You see, and instead of doing anything to them, the barrier is so much that I can't just do anything about it. The barrier is too much in their ego. They have their own ideas, their own conceptions, their own feelings, and it's impossible to penetrate deep into them. So it's a waste. And if you cannot receive the vibrations, I feel the pain in my own centers, because the deities, you see, get so annoyed and they don't like it, and they think that why Mother should waste their energy with these people who do not understand about puja. So I want to prepare you beforehand that you keep yourself open. Don't allow your ego to come up. It's nothing for me to gain, it is for you to gain. Keep your minds open. The trouble is, at the time of this Sahasrara opening, this brain, everybody's brain is upside down. It's impossible. You try to turn it and they jump on you. It's the big problem for me. It's the biggest problem, because all other incarnations came, they didn't have to do this difficult work of making you something. Just it was to awaken within you a awareness, like Christ had to awaken your Agyachak. Alright, he crucified himself for the same reason, he resurrected himself for the same reason. It was a very hard life for him, and for the Mother it was even worse, no doubt. But still, one should know that this is a very hazardous thing, to transform people and then to establish them and create out of these little seeds a huge big tree of a saint. Now, in the same way, we have got Moses, so we have got Abraham. All these great saints are within our world. They are the gurus. And on a Guru Puja, when you worship me on a Guru Puja day, that time these are awakened within you, and you become a master. You become yourself a guru. You yourself know so much. Even I don't have to tell you. I don't think I have talked to people very much in private or explained to things. But somehow they have become so much full of knowledge that's rather surprising how they understand. Like I was talking to Yogi Mahajan, and he was telling me what's the problem is with human beings, and you see, he was telling me how we cannot relate to them and all. It was interesting because my father did the same to me. I said that he's my first guru and all of you are my second gurus. Because I don't understand human beings. See, for example, this homosexual business. When Gregor, with very great reluctance, he told me through somebody else, I really fainted. Actually, I couldn't understand what's happened to them now. What am I to do? And I couldn't eat my food for 1 week. I felt so bad about the whole thing, like my own children were not. If you have a heart of an intense mother, you can understand what she feels about it. And I knew they are in for trouble. I knew everything is going to be very, very hazardous. But doesn't matter. By God's grace, everything will be all right. I'm sure it will work out. So first we have to establish Sri Ganesha. First of all, we have to establish Sri Ganesha within ourselves, and Sri Ganesha in this place called San Francisco. All right? That's why we have to first do the Sri Ganesha. Then secondly, I told him that if possible, we should do a little bit of Sri Vishnu's, because he is the one who gives us evolutionary power by which we can evolve ourselves and evolve others. So we have a little time for Sri Vishnu's Puja. Also, they do Havanas and all that for Sri Vishnu's Puja, which is very good to clear the atmosphere sort of thing. But we'll do next year all these things, perhaps maybe, because just now we don't have those arrangements. But that would be a very good idea too. And then thirdly, they want to do the power, the puja of the Shakti, the mother. Because unless and until you have power, even if all the deities are there, you'll be exhausted, you won't be able to work it out. So the third is of your own power, of your Kundalini, of the power that is going to work out this divine work. That's how we have three puja. But none of you should get into an ego trip. Please keep your ego on one side. Just now see for yourself how it works within yourself. You start feeling good, you start feeling better vibrations, and you start feeling much better and healthier within yourself. So just keep yourself open. It is you who has to achieve something, not me. I don't have to achieve anything. So you better make use of me. Because I'm here only for today, and then I'll go away. So make best use of me. And that's why I said as many as possible try to call the people over here will be a good idea. So the first is the Ganesh Puja. At that time, they wash my feet. See? Ganesha is the devotee. Correct. First, I would like to tell you about the meaning of puja. There are two aspects. One is the aspect that you have got your own deities within yourself, and these deities are to be awakened within you. Deities are the different aspects of one God. So, on one side, you have the deity, is the aspects of God which are all the time awakened. On the other side, you have your own deities which are sometimes awakened, sometimes half awakened, sometimes sleeping, and sometimes sick. So you have to use two methods. One, to please the deity, of God and to ask them to bless your deities or to ask them to awaken your deity. So by doing the puja means when you offer anything that you have got to offer, anything that you offer is say flowers. If you want to offer flower to God, you don't have to speak anything. You have to just offer that this is for you. Anybody can understand offering is for that. You don't have to have even a tongue. Even if a blind man is there, if he wants to give you something, he can just give you like this. And that expression is sufficient for anybody to be convinced that it's an offering. You don't have to say anything about it. But now, when you are a realized soul and you offer anything, it is acceptable to God, even if you don't say anything. But what about you getting any reward out of it? After realization, when you offer anything to God, He accepts. Because it's coming from a realized soul. So He accepts. Now, how do we get blessed by Him? By giving a flower to God. Now, if you don't say anything about it, you just offer the flower, then you might be rewarded with many flowers automatically. Or you may be, whatever material things you offer, you may be blessed materially. Then, in a subtler way, if you say something, as you say, for offering somebody, that humble way of saying that I'll be happy if you would accept this, will be even subtler results of that maybe, which would be much wider, maybe much deeper. Now you do something symbolic, which is very the essence, the principle of something. Like flowers are it represents the principle of the Mother Earth. Now, so the symbolicism of all the things that we can offer to God has been meditated upon and has been found. And so they use 5 things called as Panchamrita, as we have here.
Ils ont utilisé ça.
Because if you have hit the principle, then you have really hit the whole, isn't it? Because spiritual well-being is a total well-being. It's not just partly that your material well-being or your physical well-being or your emotional well-being or your mental well-being. It's a total one, completely balanced into totality. Now, when you offer these other things like the why these we call them akshatas, with the uh, this what do you call yellow thing? Huh? Turmeric rice. See this yellow thing. You see. When you offer this, you know the yellow color is that of the Swadhisthana chakra. And rice is very dear to all the gods. Now there's a trick in it because it's a human trick. Gods are fond of rice. So they put turmeric on it. Means that we offer to you a rice which is yellow colored, means you should give us blessings of our creativity. When you eat it, more creativity will flow and we'll be blessed by that creativity. It's a trick. The whole thing of puja is a trick of human saints. You see, how to trick God to give more blessings. But whatever God likes, it has to be auspicious and holy. So ultimately it works out for the holiness of saints and their simple hearts. Now the puja cannot be done by a person who is not a realized soul. A person who preaches also has to be a realized soul. The one who does namaz has to be a realized soul. The one who prays has to be a realized soul. So all the utensils that are used are to be worshipped in a way that they are to be holy things. They are to be respected things. You cannot use anything, say the one you are using in the bathroom, and use the same thing for the puja. It's absurd. Three things are very important. It's a ghata, this one, it's a vessel. Vessel that contains the kundalini, the vessel that contains the uh, primordial desire within us to get to God. Is first to be worshipped, our desire. Is the ghata, is the one made here. And on top is called as a Shree Phala. Shree Phala means this also has got water in it, if you see. This coconut has, this represents the coconut, represents the same thing. Now in the subtler form, it is the water of all the rivers of the world, rivers.
No, that's not.
And the coconut is the water of all the oceans. The water from the ocean or sea rises through the tree trunk of the coconut and becomes sweet water in the coconut. It's a symbolic thing. So this is the vessel called Ghata Puja. This is the Ghata Puja. Now I don't want to go to details today because we have to talk about Ganesha. The same is, now that is water, all right. Then we have to worship Ghanta and Shankha. These are two representing the sound.
Adesso Ganta e Puja che sono la...
Actually, the Shankha represents the ether. Then we have the Deepa, this one. It's the light. It represents the light element called as Tejas. Normally also to the goddess, they also give her a fan, which represents the air element. So this is how all the five elements are pleased beforehand using them. So the essences of these, or the causal essences of these five elements should be pleased at this time.
Ainsi,
Should
avant,
be supporting the puja. Now there are also all kinds of other things like your family deities. You might be worshipping in your family some deities. They should not be also at this time upsetting the puja, or maybe the forefathers who are dead. All these things are to be quietened so that they should be told that this is a puja like this, and you do not disturb us at this time. Means even thought should not come, their thoughts or their any disturbances. So everything is to be first made into peace. Now we come to the second aspect, which question I asked you, how do you get benefited by it? So apart from this technique, to have the best effect or the blessings or the best flow of the grace within us, we say mantras. The sound of mantras resound, echo into the being of God, and they are re-echoed on our chakra, and then the chakras start opening more. So the flow of the grace of God is received, but only a realized soul should chant a mantra, because without connection, how will it reach God? It is a vicious circle. Now, one may say that, Mother, you cannot get realization unless and until you get the grace of God. And the chakras won't open by a person who is not a realized soul. Without opening the chakras, you cannot get realization. That's how the play of the Mother comes in, and of all the saints like you. I would say the Sahajogis have to break this vicious circle. You have to raise the Kundalini yourself. Once you raise the Kundalini opens the chakras a little bit, because you have given your vibrations to the chakras.
Parce que vous avez donné vos...
So once she knows there is a Sahajogi standing behind the seeker, she rises.
Lorsqu'elle
confidence. She knows you are her brothers and sisters
elle
and
sait
that you belong to the same family as she does.
et qu'elle a
She knows the land where she has to grow, see, so she can feel that, and then she rises in her dignity. That's how she breaks this vicious circle. That's why in the beginning we don't tell them about the mantra. Because in the mantras you have to accept me as the deity. In this advent of mind, it is made compulsory that you have to recognize me. Because this is very precarious, the resurrection time we can call it, or the time of your last judgment. First, the realization has to be given without any recognition, but not to those who are denying or insulting me. Under any circumstances, they cannot get realization, whatever you do. Even after realization, if people start thinking against me, vibrations will stop. And the heart has to be completely in unison with me. Otherwise, Swastrara is closed. Now, those people who are simple, who are full of open hearts, you see, such people understand me very well and they just put me in their hearts. After realization, after going through the understanding of Sahaja through their mental activity, also the intellectuals understand me and recognize me in a little circle. After the puja, when they receive the blessings in a very blissful state they achieve, then they realize the value of puja also afterwards. Now in India, where the puja system has been traditionally coming and has been maintained quite a lot, they understand it without any mental process. But when they meet somebody, an intellectual who has become a Sahajogi, you see, they can't understand them. They don't want to listen about it. The whole rigmarole of the whole movement of the brain. And some of them who try, you see, little westernized, they try, you see, they develop an inferiority complex. But there is no need to understand it with mental, to all the time analyze it through your mental process and then to understand everything and then become Sahajogis with the heart open. Rather very circuitous. But what to do? They have gone that way, so they have to come that way. Because even if they become Sahajogis, they start questioning and thinking about it and worrying about it. So the false people just mesmerize them and take advantage of that mesmerism.
Yeah.
So one should not feel bad if you feel like analyzing, you should go ahead with it. Because I cannot stop your speed. I am not going to mesmerize. In Sahaja Yoga, the freedom is to be respected. But we do not allow people to come for puja who have not achieved a certain amount of understanding mentally of Sahaja Yoga from the Western people, not in India. But here there is a restriction. Because supposing in India, I do not explain to them, they don't want to know. They know that they'll get vibration. They already know about vibrations. So I don't have to tell them you'll get more vibrations. If they get more vibrations, they know I am the Shakti. That's all. I don't have to explain. Like as you can make out which is the best wine, they can make out who is the real person. Now, once in a puja, I had about 6,000 people had touched my feet. So I said in a puja, now please don't have people need not touch my feet. I said it. But they thought it was Dhumal who suggested, so they all got after his life. They said, you only want to take all the blessings from others' feet and you didn't want us to take it, and they got out. Another thing is, you see, in the West, I never used to make the Panchamrita with my feet, but with my hands, because here people would think that that's a dirty thing, feet is, and we should not have of the feet, you see. But actually, the feet are very powerful and they can never be dirty. Like the river Ganges has vibration. And if you have the water of Ganges, you'll see that it will never be dirtied. On the contrary, whatever are inside that, because it's never sort of very kept clean, whatever dirt has gone into it, it settles down and doesn't dirty the thing at all. It's very clean water all the time vibrating. So one must understand whatever is pure, which is responsible for purity, which is the source of purity, can cleanse any impurity. So how it can be impure? But with the brain, if you think it, it's so limited. You cannot think of something which is just the embodiment of purity. I talk to them in Marathi language because here so many of them don't understand any other language but Marathi. Gauri Puja. Gauri is the one who I talk to them in Marathi language because here so many of them don't understand any other language but Marathi. Today is the day of Gauri Puja. Gauri is the one who, as a virgin, created Sri Ganesh. And in the same pattern, you have got your realization. In the same pattern. So, you have to use the same power within you, that is of Gauri, that you keep your heart clean. You must have a clean heart. You must have a clean thinking. There should be purity in your mind. Of course, the bhakti does give that purity. But if there is anything lingering in your mind, I have to tell you that there are three things that are going to happen from today. First, we have started Vishwa Nirmala Dharma. You are under the vision of Sri Ganesh, under the guidance of your spirit, and under the blessings of God Almighty. But be careful, because once you become that, you have to keep to that dharma. You have to be honest about it. If you are dishonest, from today onwards, you be careful. Anything can happen to you if you get out of the maryadas. Till you keep to the maryadas of Sahaja Yoga, saying morning, evening, night, that I am a Sahaja Yogi, nobody can hurt, nobody can trouble you. On the contrary, you will be enjoying life if you keep to the maryadas. But if you leave the maryadas of Sahaja Yoga, you will have big problems. So this is the second thing I want to tell you. That today we have started the great religion which was promised long time back of realized souls. Now the third thing is that with all these things we are doing, we must promise to God also that we will know about Sahaja Yoga through proper understanding, reading, every word of it. We'll master the knowledge of Sahaja Yoga. We'll keep ourselves clean and completely surrender our lives to Sahaja Yoga. This is what you have to promise in your heart. Surrendering to Sahajoga is actually surrendering to joy, bliss, and peace. In that, you are the gainer. Nobody is a loser in that. This is how today we have to decide once for all. Today is the day, as you know, my forefathers call it the first day of the year. And they have the kalasha and the shawl of the goddess as the emblem, or you can call it as a flag of Shalimarg. In any way, my delay is important because there was Amavasya earlier, and we had to get rid of that Amavasya for the first day to start. That's how. The delay was there was jam, everything is arranged. You should not worry. Why there is delay, why there is this. Sometimes I may come earlier, I may come later. It's all arranged. Because during Amavasya, how can you have my puja? Simple thing like that. It's all arranged, it's all worked out. Everything is fine. Just be yourself. Don't get upset with anything. Don't get worried on anything. Just try to keep absolutely peaceful. I'll give you some tests by seeing how much you keep to that situation of complete peace within yourself. If you have done no wrong, if you are a Sahajogi, there should be no disturbance. If others have done wrong, it's all right. Doesn't matter. You have not done anything. As long as you have done no wrong, there's nothing to worry. And as it is, even if you have done some wrong, God is there to forgive. So don't have any worries, nothing. Have all the strength, have all the courage, and go ahead with this promise onward. Because I think now Sahajoga is going to take a new turn. Definitely it is going to take. We are going to come up to a stage where thousands and thousands will join Sahajoga. But first of all, those who are in the foundation, who are the first people, must work very hard to keep themselves above all kinds of foolish temptations, all kinds of foolish things we have been doing, which is asaj. Language should be sweet, your behavior should be good, it should be very gentle and soft. You should move like a yogi, live like a saint, and people should see through you the greatness of Sahajoga. May God bless you.
We have two birthdays today of small little girls, Leela and Amba. Please come with their parents for Aarti. And all the brothers and sisters who had come early for cleaning of Shri Mahalakshmi room, please come forward for Aarti. You can all stand for Aarti. Mahesh Bhaiya can also come forward for Aarti. It's his birthday today.
ऐसे लगा नहीं लगा ऐसे लगा उतना टाइम
you, Shree Mataji, for all your blessings. Let's all bow down to Shree Mataji and take Bandhan.